Welcome, 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 collectives. My name is Ora-gen, and this is the Ora-gen Channel. I want to welcome you back today. No matter what time of day you found this video, I am so grateful that you are here. Let's jump right into the message for today's, guys. I can't talk already. Today's message. Let's jump in. This is going to be a two-part video, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the message here, and then the second part of the video today will have a live video where I'll be pulling cards on the energies. All right, collectives, definitely welcoming you to the space. If you haven't had a chance to like, share, and subscribe for the Ora-gen Channel, and you are enjoying and connecting with the content, please feel free to engage in those activities. We welcome it here at the Ora-gen Channel. This will also help us to get the messages out and help us to reach more members of the collectives with messages that they need to hear. Okay, so today's message is actually talking about some of the recent cosmic phenomena that we have been looking at, experiencing, potentially connecting with in our timeline as of recently. So I spoke with someone here recently and they said, hey, you should do a reading on some of the things that are currently happening. In this case, they were referring to, and not limited to, but two of the main areas they were referring to was the asteroid activity around the Earth currently, and how this particular activity during the month of October is being referred to as a second moon, or looks kind of like a luminary that is hanging out in our gravitational pull and is visiting for a while, and then based on its trajectory will move out of the gravitational pull, which that in and of itself I found very interesting. I was like, an asteroid that kind of navigates itself in and out of gravitational pulls. That's interesting. So without going deep into those types of thoughts, because there's a lot of different thoughts on a lot of the cosmic activity that's happening right now. But I thought it would be interesting to, of course, bring in AI to see what information was there on some of these topics. In particular, I focused in on the topic of the asteroid in our gravitational pull at this time, which some people might be able to see during the month of October. And I asked AI or Chat GPT about which types of readings might be beneficial, and by readings I mean oracle or energy-based readings, might be beneficial to help others during this time period. So I thought I would share with you what AI's response was, which obviously begs the next question in a lot of cases: what is AI actually, and how will it be playing into our future timeline? But the answer was really interesting. It actually made a few suggestions to help guide, that's the word it used, your process and align with the cosmic energy. And that was the Chat GPT's exact wording. Suggestions to guide with the process and align with the cosmic energies. So number one, it suggested to choose a deck with celestial or comic themes or cosmic themes. Guys, you will have to excuse me, whatever this energy is, it's definitely kind of muddling words and, creating like a little bit of a distractive energy. So I apologize if I'm having to, course correct throughout this download. But anyways, it suggested the type of deck that I might use. It mentioned focusing on asteroids and space, and a deck that taps into celestial bodies, stars, or cosmic symbols. And it mentioned that this would more than likely resonate well. It mentioned that some oracle decks have specific themes related to astrology or the cosmos, which could provide insightful guidance. So I thought that first suggestion was interesting. It was like it was trying to help find ways to tap into the process and gain insight. Number 2, it suggested to frame the question around cosmic timing. So it even gave a suggestion on really where to focus the energy of the reading. Interesting, right? It said, consider the larger purpose behind the asteroid activity and Earth's relationship with the cosmos. You might ask questions like, what energies are being brought to the Earth through this asteroid activity? Or how can we align ourselves with the current cosmic movements? What's so interesting is that when you ask AI about its feelings on things, how it feels about the larger or greater purpose, typically you'll get an answer or a response back stating something like, well, I am, a programmed response, whatever. I don't have feelings and emotions on things, but, I am able to provide information to help you with, your insights or whatever it says. But it's so interesting that it is guiding me, the querent, or the person who asked the question, to consider the larger purpose behind the asteroid activity and Earth's relationship with the cosmos. Do you find that interesting? The way that it wanted me to center in on the information, and yet it states, AI, that it is not sentient in the way that humans are and does not have an emotional connection to thoughts like these. So I just found it interesting what it was asking me to consider, but also at the same time what it states about its ability to connect with topics like this. I don't know. If you have thoughts, feel free to leave them in the chat. I just thought that was interesting. And then number 3, it said, look for signs of change, protection, or awareness. So it says, asteroids passing close to Earth are often interpreted as signs of change or potential disruption. In an oracle reading, pay attention to any cards that indicate transformation, protection, or heightened awareness, as these might mirror the energies of asteroids. Isn't that interesting? So once again, it's talking very specifically about mirroring energies and how we might view this energy if it comes up in a reading. Number 4, it says to draw multiple cards for a complete perspective. Use a spread that gives insight into past, present, and future influences. This can help you to understand the energy that the asteroids have carried into the present and how that might influence the future. Very interesting. So I definitely will be using a multi-card spread. I didn't focus specifically on past, present, and future, more so pulling some guide cards for the base of the reading and then pulling cards on that information to get more clarity and kind of break the energy down. Number 5, consider the symbolism of asteroids. Asteroids in astrology often symbolize raw energy, potential crises, or the breaking down of barriers. Cards that represent breakthrough moments, crises that lead to growth, or hidden potential might offer insight into the current cosmic influence. I found this response very interesting because at the time that this particular video is recorded, this is Friday, October 4th. Okay, so 10/4 of 24. Okay, so this is very interesting. It is 1:31 p.m. Eastern. For AI to be drawing my attention to potential crises, breaking down of barriers, crises that lead to growth, it's interesting. When I looked this up, this actual response from AI was probably like, I don't know, a week ago, something like that. Some of the things that are happening presently in our world, okay, some current events that are happening that could potentially lead to crises were definitely brewing, but maybe they hadn't shown up in the way that we're seeing them presently on our timeline. So I find it interesting that it's relating to asteroids in astrology, which is true, but it's drawing my attention to crises that lead to growth, breaking down of barriers, and the general potential of crises. So we're definitely looking at some situations in our timeline right now that are directly connected with crises and things coming up for the populace to see and look at and say, oh my goodness, this is terrible. Some things that cannot be avoided. I mean, you'd have to intentionally use apathy as a tool to evade the things that we are seeing presently in our world. But how these aspects can actually be used as a tool to lead to growth, because we have to acknowledge what needs to be fixed before we can fix it. And more people need to awaken to that energy. So I found that really interesting. Number 6, tune into global energies. Given that asteroids and space events affect the planet as a whole, you might want to ask questions not just about your personal path, but also about global energy shifts. What kind of collective messages are being delivered through this asteroid activity? So I definitely will be touching on collective energies as it relates to shift, change, evolution, growth. And then number 7, use meditation before the reading, since the theme is cosmic grounding. So all of those things are very interesting. I did want to share one other aspect of this reading that we're going to be going into, which is the Ring of Fire. That recently happened here on October 2nd. I believe it was around like 1:40 or something in the afternoon for a solar eclipse. I did not see it. I was not able to pick up on it. I don't know if you were able to see that from Michigan or maybe just certain parts of, I don't know, certain areas of the country. I don't know. But there was a little article here on this particular solar eclipse. And it actually was very interesting because the image that I am looking at associated with this literally looks like one of my oracle cards in the What's the Vibe deck. I believe it is. Yeah, I think it's What's the Vibe. It's a ring light, but it literally looks like the image for this eclipse. Amazing. So it's very interesting because it was saying, okay, yep, right here. An annual solar eclipse will be visible from parts of the southern hemisphere. Although much of South America will see a partial solar eclipse, some observers will witness a ring of fire around the moon from within a narrow path of annularity. Geez, the throat chakra and the crown chakra energy is strong today, guys. And for some of you who resonate with the cards or the message today, or have been wondering about these particular topics and how they might relate to our timeline, you might also have been experiencing like having a hard time getting words out or coming up with the right words. You're gonna see that potentially, see, there it is again. You're going to see that potentially occur in this reading as I pull cards live on the camera, because it has definitely been an energy that is coming in strong. I would definitely recommend not to take yourself too seriously and to laugh at yourself and release as we are moving through these energies. Super important. So it says the observer's location will dictate the ring of fire or when the ring of fire will be visible. So that's why some of us didn't see it. If you are a person that was in the southern hemisphere or in a region where that could be seen, feel free to make a comment here in the chat about what you saw, or if you know somebody that saw it, any energy that you picked up from it, any thoughts that you have on the annual the solar eclipse. Let's just say that. If you noticed anything, felt anything, feel free to leave that in the comments. Okay, and just side note, there is a video online of the live stream of that eclipse. If you want to check that out, I can actually leave a link in the description. So if you want to click on that, you absolutely can, and maybe check it out. And it looks really cool. So I am not going to talk too much today, guys, because clearly I am having a very hard time getting this message out. It could very well be that others in the collective right now are also experiencing energies, once again, as I've mentioned, difficulty with expressing thoughts, throat chakra energy, crown energy, third eye, and solar plexus. So if you've noticed any of those regions or chakral regions feeling like depleted, or feeling like they're just not, like you're kind of misfiring, basically, please know that you are not on an island. Definitely focus on grounding out this week. That's going to come up in the reading. Meditation, engaging in processes that help you to center will help you with moving through energies that feel intense or feel distractive or feel kind of like out of body, okay, to get yourself grounded. Super important. So we're going to pull some cards on these energies. I will definitely put a link to this article here in the description. And I'm looking forward to hearing any comments that you all have about these current events and what is happening in our cosmos and how this plays into our timeline. Very interesting how AI responded to the question. Definitely is something that AI knows based on its response. And I believe that we'll see the same thing as we pull the cards, okay? So I'm going to go on ahead and slide off of this recording here and get into the live video for the card pull. See you there, guys. Okay, guys, welcome to the second portion of this reading. So with the information from the download and just the general information in mind, we're going to go on ahead and pull some cards on the energy, see what these energies might mean for not just the collectives, but really the planet, our globe, Mother Gaia, everyone that is here presently at this time in this timeline, whether you refer to yourself as a member of the collective, a starseed, whatever, doesn't matter. We're going to pull some cards and see like the significance here of some of these recent events that are happening in our world with the eclipse, and also with the asteroid or planetoid that is in our that is orbiting with us and in our gravitational pull. So we're just going to pull a little bit of information here and see if there's anything that can be beneficial to the collectives or anyone who runs across this message. Okay, so I've already cleared the energy and I've already selected some decks to work with. So we have the Starseed deck, of course, Moonology, of course. We want to know what the vibe is, and we are also going to be working with Angel's Wisdom Oracle deck. Okay, so we're going to start with the Angel's Wisdom Oracle deck, and then we're going to move into Starseed and Moonology. And I hope for all of you who are joining me today for this reading, I hope that you're having an amazing day, a morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you found this video. I hope things are going well for you. And I hope that you're able to take a moment with me here as we look into this energy and just understand more. Definitely, if you have water, tea, herbal drinks, supplements, whatever it is, feel free to grab that and bring it into the space as we just dive into the energy here. I can't forget to mention, if you have not liked, shared, subscribed, please feel free to do that at this time. And definitely passing the messages along to those who you feel would benefit is amazing energy. We are definitely excited about that here at Ora-gen Channel and reaching more people. So when you do subscribe, please do hit the all button, because if you do not, you will not get all of the notifications as the videos come out. Okay, guys? So Spirit, what information do we have like on these recent events that we've spoken about in the earlier part of the reading, talking about astrological things, talking about the asteroid or the second luminary that is in our gravitational pull, which is so interesting that some people are referring to it as a luminary, because if it's a piece of just asteroid, why is it being referred to as a second moon? And I know definitely some of you will have some comments on that. I'm not going to go all the way into that because I feel like that's a whole other topic within itself. But we're just going to address the general energy, and definitely feel free to leave comments in the chat, or you can send me an email if you have something you want to share and you just don't want to leave it in the chat. That's okay. So let's pull some energy here about where we're at in our timeline, how these current events are affecting the collectives, and just all of us here on the planet at this time. Any information here from this deck, Spirit? Oops. Let's see. All right, I'm going to take these two and I'm going to split the deck. Take the card on the bottom. Okay, so we have 3 cards out on the table. We have money on the table, serenity, and we also have passion. Those are our first 3 cards out. So with the money card, it says, I'm tapped into the universal supply of money. The angels ask you to cut back on your spending and get the most out of your money in line with things that are most important to you. Angel number 88888 is a message to learn to manage your money better, as it can help you become financially secure and provide a safety net for any unpredictable situation. So definitely taking this one at face value. For those of you in the collective who resonate with this part of the message, there may be some work that you are focusing on right now that has to do with your finances. You are also being informed that new energy is coming in regards to your finances, and that you're being encouraged to kind of like get things in order and to be mindful about the way that you're dealing with your finances. And you know, the orb right behind this guy's head kind of looks like the second moon, doesn't it? Let me see if I can put that there. Do you see that? Kind of looks like the second moon. So that is interesting. I'm getting an energy here of transition, new things coming in, and these signs that we are seeing around us in our experience, in our world, and as we look up, are something for us to pay attention to, something that we need to take note of. And we're being encouraged here to definitely look at the way that we're handling important aspects of our soul journey, our growth, things that support that journey. Definitely finances is important. We need to be able to, and that's interesting, the candle just went out. That's interesting, confirmation. We need to be able to do whatever is within our power to assist with supporting ourselves with any kind of work that we're doing. So let's say we are growing a business that deals with health and wellness, or assisting others with coaching, or maybe helping people to step into new earth energy, and we want to expand our locations. We're going to need resources for that. And this isn't to say that the universe won't bring those in, but there might be some work that we need to do individually to help with that manifestation, or to get things organized nicely as these changes come in. And then there's something here about an unpredictable situation. So definitely, as we see things change in our experience, like all of the energies that are shifting at this time or on this timeline, we need to be mindful of different potential situations and outcomes, and doing whatever we can as best as we can to prepare for those. And this isn't to make anyone paranoid or feel like they have to do a ton of stuff or go get a million products to keep it in their apartment or their home or whatever. That's not the purpose of this. This has to do with like an energetic mindfulness, getting organized energetically for the shifting energies. We have serenity. Everything in and around me is in perfect harmony. Everything in and around me is in perfect harmony. This one says you are moving into a time of greater inner peace and tranquility. The angels reassure you that peace of mind is within you. You can feel serene even in the midst of great turmoil. Yeah, so when I think about some of the events happening in our world at this time, it can be very easy to feel tense, to feel like things are in upheaval, to feel like things are not balanced, to feel like, anxious about what's happening. And we're really being encouraged here to focus on that inner serenity and understanding that we can go to that island of inner serenity and peace whenever we want to. It's understanding how to get there. It's not due to external events. That's not how we get there. We get there by practicing accessing that part of our higher self will help us to be able to access that inner serenity no matter what is happening around us. And this is going to be super important as we see shifts and changes in our world. Do you know how to tap into that inner island of peace? Or is that something that doesn't feel real to you? Something that doesn't feel clear to you? And if that's the case, it's time to start practicing. And there's lots of ways that you can practice. I can even do a video on that. But you can even just start with mindfulness and meditation. That's a great way to start that practice. So yeah, a lot here in the energy about preparation, and also if there's energy that feels like turmoil or a massive tower coming in, for humanity because of so many shifts and upheavals, which by the way, is not to create paranoia. Those shifts and upheavals are for the purpose of bringing in new earth energies. The only way that's going to happen is if we stop doing the same thing over and over. And by we, I mean humanity that is here at this time. I know there's a lot of other issues associated with what's happening in our world, but just speaking specifically about the way we as individuals contribute to that energy. Are we supporting toxic or negative systemic setups or behavioral patterns or energy? Or are we contributors to new earth energies and things that bring in more clarity, more understanding, more connection, more mindfulness? And how to go about that? Well, we're going to need to be in a balanced energy ourselves in order to contribute to that. And then passion. This energy has been coming up a lot because in a previous reading, we were talking about passion as it relates to all of the beautiful energies that you are vibrating with and what you're drawing in, and how your passion and your creativity is really at the root of that. So here's this energy again, but in relation to today's topic, it says the universe is always guiding me toward my passions. The angels ask you to act and follow what you believe in with all your heart. You have come to this earth to fulfill a mission. Unleash your full potential and engage in activities that bring pleasure. Wow. So this is tied in with this. This is all about your energy. All of this. It's like the messaging here is, regardless of what things are happening externally, you really are being encouraged, for those of you who resonate with this message, to really tap in and tune in with your higher self and all the aspects of you that are associated with that. Your passion is super important because as individuals who have come here to contribute something to this timeline to help with this major shift that's happening, it's super important that you are authentic with that work that you're here to do. And to really focus in on what it is that you believe. Not trying to shift your practices to conform, but rather utilizing those beliefs, those understandings, that growth, that awakening to lead you further down the path of helping people to see another way of doing things. I've mentioned this time and time again, that in this time period that we are in presently, this timeline and what is happening in our world, it is super important that, you know, the crystal children, the indigo children, the crystal children, you know, galactics, star seeds, however it is that you identify that you're here and awakening at this time is not a fluke, because it's to start a transition into something new. Not what has been happening, but something new. And how can that happen? This is starseed energy. If we come here and conform to the previous practices that have gotten us into the mess that we're in. Once again, focusing in on what each of us can do as an individual here. Okay? So those are really powerful. I want to go on ahead and get into Moonology and see what energy is coming up here. Even though what we saw here recently, well, for whomever saw it, I don't know if anybody was able to see the solar eclipse. I heard that it was on the 2nd of October around like 1:40. If I'm wrong, somebody can leave that in the chat. But I didn't see it. I'm thinking maybe certain regions were able to see it and others maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to put this here. Guys, since our candle went out, I'm going to light a little bit of this Palo Santo here. Like I said, even though I clean and cleared the space, like, I think we just need to burn something so we can just connect in really nicely and make sure that energy stays nice and cleared out. So let's go on ahead and just give this a little light here. A little bit for you, a little bit for me in the space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's light that one more time. And we'll put it in here. And we'll go on ahead and pull from this other deck. Oh, that's good. There it is. And get that nice and steamy. Beautiful. Okay, so let's go into the Moonology deck here and just see what information is coming through in relation to these 3 cards that we pulled. Let's move him out the way. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, Spirit, what do we have here? Let's talk about the money card and, you know, preparation. Being of a prepared mindset and doing the work to kind of get things organized, energetic organization, physical organization, anything that we need to do here, any information on that with the moon energy. We can kind of tap into the solar eclipse with this, even though we're talking about moon energy, but they're both luminaries. Let's see what comes up. See what the moon has to tell us. Information for collective. Oh, there we go, and there we go. Okay. New moon in Capricorn. Somebody here might be a Cap. Okay. Or you might have it as aspected in your chart or in your energy. But this one says your hard work is paying off. Okay, so that's our first one. Our second one for serenity, we have take time to breathe out. This is a disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. Isn't that beautiful? That popped right out on top of serenity. It's beautiful energy. One more for the collective, passion. And we're going to read the cards on these. Okay, I'm being guided to take... that's hard. Yeah, I'm not sure. Haha, look at this on the bottom of the deck. Hold your vision. Hold your vision. This kind of goes with passion because it was talking about, you know, really being authentic about who you are, your mission, and what you came here to do, and not conforming. And then we have hold your mission on the bottom of the deck. We also have the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. So somebody might be a Gemini here or have it in your energy or your chart. Beautiful. Let's take a look at the guidebook here and see what is coming up. Okay, your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Okay, this one says, first and foremost, this card suggests a new start for you professionally. Whatever has been going on in your working life, this card heralds the start of a new and improved work cycle. Isn't that interesting? We're talking about cycles. We're talking about, you know, astral bodies. We're talking about these aspects of our experience. And then this card here comes up speaking about work cycles. So there's cycles. That energy is in everything that we're talking about here. And even the way these current events are popping up in our timeline has something to do with a cycle, something that it is time for. And that energy is coming through really strong. So in relation to your work cycle, it says if you're unhappy in your current job, this is the time to either renegotiate your position or look for something new. You're getting a strong encouragement here that this is a great time for shift. For you, Capricorn, or from whomever resonates with this part of the message. Whatever your question, whether work-related or otherwise, a new plan and strategy is called for you. You need to take a look at the long term and think about where you want to be in 12 months or even 5 years. That will inform your best course of action now, so think seriously about it. Drawing this card suggests it's time for you to be ambitious about whatever it is you want to achieve. Yeah, this is talking about making a proper plan and executing it well. What did we talk about? What's the chances that this card, talking about executing a plan, and this card here, speaking about executing a plan? That's coming through strong in the energy. If anybody is a Capricorn, let this serve as confirmation for you, or if you just deeply resonate with this part of the message, okay? But definitely check your chart to see if something is aspected there. You never know. Wow. Let's do Serenity. This one is take time to breathe out. That's the disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. Let's see what's coming up. Take time to breathe out. There we go. Disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. This one says the intensity of the full moon was abated. And what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that the situation you're asking about has now peaked, and it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. This really speaks to humanity right now. We have peaked in a lot of areas, and the universe is really giving us strong encouragement to learn from those things and find a new path. Like, we cannot keep going the way that we are. So that's interesting. This energy comes out with serenity. So it says, have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way things are now and give yourself and others time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be on all the time. If you feel like you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now is the time to reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself. If you feel bad about your current situation, and then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. So to attune to this moon, you can use a mantra like, I am where I am, and it's okay. So there's something here in serenity for those of you who resonate with this. I mean, on a Global scale, yeah, it's time for us to attune. We've learned all we can from the path we're on, and something's got to change. Lots of things have to change. And that's why so much is churning to the top. It's to draw people's attention. Even people who don't want to see it or want to stay in their comfort zone are being forced to see what is happening. And that is for our benefit, so that we can actually make the changes together. Serenity, though, talking about inner peace and tranquility and how to reach that. There's something here about some of the cycles that those of you who resonate with this part of the message have been through. And maybe some of those cycles have really taken the wind out of you. It's been a lot. And so you are now exhausted and having a hard time maybe moving forward. You're being encouraged to take time out and also to take some of that pressure off of yourself about how things went and really focus on what you've learned from them. Take a minute to breathe, integrate, and then regroup. But really, you're being encouraged to step away from that self-judgment energy and release. This is going to help you to tap into that inner peace and tranquility. Because if we are churning an energy of everything we did wrong and guilt and shame, we're not really able to progress and move forward. We're keeping ourselves limited and stuck, okay? And then for the Geminis, or those who resonate with this part of the message, the answers you need are coming. The answers you need are coming. Let's see what we have here. Yeah. So this one is the full moon in Gemini, and this could be indicators too of when you all might start to see some of these things pop up in your space or feel a strong urge to take action in some of these areas, okay? Remember, all of these events that we're seeing, you know, in the sky around our beautiful planet are really indicators of shift and change and how to really tap into that energy at this time. So this one says, the card is a reminder that it's important to speak your truth. Wow, passion. But remember that your words have consequences and impact your listener. Right now, you need to guard against indiscretion. The answers you need may well come soon. The issue you're facing could well be one or a few conversations away from being resolved. If you're inquiring about a love situation, it says a little flirting may be called for. Okay, guys, they're getting a little spicy here. If you're in the middle of an argument, this card comes to you as a reminder of the old, very non-Gemini message. Least said, soonest mended. It's good to talk, but be careful you aren't causing yourself any issues with your words. That's important, guys, because passion can cause that to happen. So that's so true. Words have enormous power, as metaphysician Florence Scovel Shen from 1871 to 1940 put it. Your word is your wand. You create magic and your own reality every time you express yourself. Wow. So yeah, let's not allow our passion to drive us into areas where it creates more energy that we now have to process, that isn't in alignment with what we want to draw. Instead, you're being encouraged to be patient because the answers that you need are coming. So more information coming out here soon about what is happening in our world at this time, why it's happening the way it is, and also the resolution, or how we can start to head towards a more resolute energy. But in relation to whomever this part of the message resonates with on a personal level, you're being encouraged to definitely tap into your passion, but remember that your words have impact. So even in this time where we are definitely sharing more information about the awakening, it might even be that the way that you're approaching that with friends, family members, or different people, you really want to help them to be more alert to ways that they can shift and change and experience better results. We need to be careful about how we approach these processes. The best way for people to understand and learn is to observe. So keep that in mind here. It's really powerful. All right, we're going to put the guidebook there. I did not mean to keep this music on because I think the video is probably going to get, let me just turn that down a little bit. It's going to get copyright because it's kind of late now. I guess they're gonna hit me with a copyright probably. I'll have to look and see what the artist is here. That is on the YouTube streaming. As Dreams Unfold, E Mantra. As Dreams Unfold, E Mantra. That's playing on the YouTube streaming right now. I thought about it and I was like, oh man, it's too late. It's been playing. I usually turn the music off now these days because we definitely want to give artists their credit. That's super important. Okay. So we want to kind of get a temperature here of what's the vibe with the information that's coming up in the deck here for the collectives at this time, where we are at in our timeline. And we also, wow, doesn't that look like the eclipse? Look at that. New opportunities, new career, successful business. This is going with the money card. That's amazing. Yeah, you guys got to get organized. There's going to be some shifts. I said this before, that there's going to be, with this transition, individuals who would not have formally, on the old timeline, been able to step into certain positions. That's getting ready to change. There are going to be people, individuals, who are in positions of leadership, education, you know, technically, you know, positions that maybe they wouldn't have been able to access or touch in the past. They're going to be moving into those positions. It's amazing. That keeps coming up when I do polls. So this is why you're being encouraged to kind of get things organized. Spirit, information on what's the vibe on the street here with this energy that's coming up. What's the vibe? Burned bridges. Look at this. That's the vibe, guys. Yeah, a lot of the powers that were definitely have burned bridges. There is a lack of trust. They're disloyal. People have turned their back on some of these old ways, processes, and, you know, I'm sure this new energy has got to be kind of jarring for individuals that really want things to continue the way that it has been. I don't see why you would. You know, it's basic needs that people are not able to have due to the way things are being handled with, you know, food, land, resources, whatever. It's not a good thing. So there has to be something that someone's getting out of it in order to want to keep things going in this manner. There's no way. So yeah, there's a lot of burned bridges, but burned bridges too with the populace, I'm sure. You know, collectives are not the only ones who are dissatisfied with what they're seeing. So definitely there's that energy going on. I could definitely see that's a vibe. Trapped, stuck, no options, unforgiveness. I think we're seeing more about resistive energies and you know, what might be going on as these changes are coming in and how some of these resistive energies might be feeling about those changes. It's hard to forgive somebody when they keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's challenging. And for some of you, that might be an energy that you've dealt with, like personally. Friends, family, associates. If you haven't had a chance to look at the previous reading, the one that was put up just before this one, please do check that out because it kind of covers that area or that topic. But for those of you who have dealt with, you know, situations that you felt trapped, or you were dealing with individuals who burn bridges with you or who continue to do the same type of toxic stuff over and over again. Yeah, look at this. Envy. Look at these energies. That's a mess. Look at that. Hiding, concealing, deception. That's coming to an end. Masked. Yeah, so energies that were utilized in the past to hide information, to hide things that the populace needed to know, or that the collectives needed to know, that anyone would need to know, quite frankly, for the purposes of sustaining or supporting, continuing to do things a certain way, because individuals were benefiting from it. Not a whole lot of individuals, but there were individuals who were benefiting from it. So yeah. Yeah, competitive. A lot of you had energies around you that were competing. You didn't even know you were in a competition. You could tell something was off because maybe the way an individual, a person, place, or thing, an energy began to shift around you, and you were not clear as to why that was happening. So there could have been some competitive energy there. And maybe they just weren't comfortable with the fact that, you know, collective is so darn good at what they do. I don't know. Nothing to be done about that. Collective is going to be phenomenal at what they do. That's what they're here to do. What else we got? What's the vibe on the street? Let's have it pop clearly, Spirit, so we can know what needs to come out. Let's split the deck and we'll try it this way. What's the vibe on the street, Spirit? What is the vibe? Let's see what's here. Okay. That's interesting. What is this? The same card popped up from earlier. Okay. Yeah, there's a glow up coming. You know, that competitive energy, just sick that you're continuing to move forward. Not though that we care, but just a thought. It's on the table here. It's been an issue. Almost like groups of energies that are competitive with the collectives about the fact that they're moving into new positions, jumping on new timelines, having successes, moving past challenges that kept them stuck, and feeling resentful about it. These new opportunities, new careers, successful businesses, positions of leadership. Yeah, vacay. It's gonna feel like a vacay for you all, for the collectives. You know, like you're having fun, you're tapping in and tuning in with what you're doing, you're enjoying it, instead of like careers or situations that you do not feel connected with. You know, being able to do more of what feels connective and is in alignment with your soul path. Yeah, I showed you this before. Masked. Yeah. That's going to be the end of that. I'm also picking up for some of you, you may have been around others who were hiding or concealing how they really felt about you or what you were doing. Running. That's these energies. Escape, denial, excuses. Yeah. So maybe when you try to confront some of these energies, or even just talk with people about shifts or changes that you noticed in their energy towards you, they weren't forthright. They didn't want to talk with you about it. Maybe they tried to blow it off or kind of minimize it. Oh yeah, no, I'm fine. There's nothing going on here. We're good. Denial, excuses as to why they did what they did, or weren't supportive, or maybe, you know, kind of threw shade at you in the background energetically, whatever kind of foolishness they were doing. They're trying to run from it. They don't want to deal with it head on. And that goes for the energies that are in position of power as well too. They're not being forthright and straightforward with the populace. They're, you know, trying to not have accountability and kind of blame other things, you know. But the reality is, it's not stopping anything. Everything is being churned up so we can see clearly, more clearly at least, what's going on here, and be mindful about, you know, the state of our world that we live in together at this time, in areas where it needs to change. so we can start to move more towards that new earth energy. Is there another card here? There's some rumors, some gossip, some tea going on, collective. What's the tea here? This is the tea. I think that's a big confirmation from spirit. Like, yep, that's the tea. That's what's happening right now. That is the tea. You all are the tea, collective. I know there's people that are nosy and gossiping about all the changes that you're making, and people trying to figure out, because you're working in silence. You're not talking with a lot of people about, you know, hey, I'm getting ready to do this and I'm getting ready to do that. You've already learned your lesson. For those of you who resonate with this message, you're already understanding that. You're just silently working. You're picking up on the energies, you're making the needed shifts, you're growing, you're evolving, you're expanding. So you all might be the topic of some gossip as well. Maybe friend groups, associates, family members, workmates, whatever. Not that it matters. They're not dealing with this straightforward. They're not being straightforward about it anyways. It doesn't matter. You're really being encouraged to focus on the work that you're doing. What is this? Oh, Lord. Clingy. That door is closed, okay? Old exes, dead relationships, old ways, boo. All that stuff is done. That door is closed. You've already moved past that. And that was the answer to who's gossiping about you. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, we don't really care that much about this energy. We really don't. As long as they keep it in their lane. What do we have here? Yeah, you're healing. Self-care, introspection, meditation. Remember we talked about getting to the island of peace, okay? And focusing on that healing work that's going to lead you in the direction you want to go and help you to find more associates and companions that are like-minded energy and in alignment with that new earth energy and what it is you want to feel. You need more associates, soul tribe, companions. Continue doing this work here and continue focusing on your goals, and that's going to lead you away from these old energies that were clearly around whomever is resonating with this message. Okay, so one more, and then we are going to take a Starseed card, and then we're going to close out, okay? One more for the collective, please. Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Yeah. Suffering in silence. There's a couple ways that I take this energy, guys, because definitely these old energies are probably looking at you. They can't touch you. They can't get involved with you. You're not interested in dealing with them. For a lot of you, you've cut these old energies off. So they might be suffering in silence. You know, things that they feel, maybe dreams they had about how they wanted to engage with you, or maybe just touching your energy and benefiting from it. You know, they're not able to touch your energy and get a charge up. That's done. These individuals, these energies are blocked. So they might be suffering in silence. You wouldn't know because more than likely you're not dealing with them. And for those of you who are, it could mean that there are energies around you that feel some type of way but aren't expressing it, like they're not being authentic about it and expressing how they really feel. This could also point to how you all used to feel. You weren't able to really tap into your desires. You couldn't really speak about them because others around you were not really open to listening. They might have been sitting across from you or on the phone or whatever, but they didn't really get it. And so there might have been a lot of unspoken desires and dreams that you had that you weren't really able to share with others. Maybe some dreams that you had that went south because you had some resistive energies or things that, you know, kind of knocked some things out of the box, or at least maybe it felt that way. But the reality is whatever is for you, collective, is for you. No one can take that overall. They may block, hinder, harass, whatever, certain aspects. But at the end of the day, as long as you stay on your path and you do the work that you need to do for yourself and for, you know, I want to say this galactic work that you're doing, you know, like You all were like ticking time bombs. You woke up and started engaging with your soul path. The end. Like, it was going to happen that way. It was written. It was going to happen that way. And so there were going to be some energies that were miffed or felt out of alignment with that, because that's not what they're doing. And we've talked about why that is. You know, when you're doing something that someone else maybe even feels they should be doing, but they're not, they start to have feelings about what you're doing, but it's really a reflection of how they're feeling inside, because they're not on their soul path. They're not awakening. They want to kind of stay asleep and just do the status quo, and they're just fine with that. Which, honestly, fine. Just stay in your lane with it. But to try and stop another person from doing what it is they're here to do, simply because you don't want to do that yourself, that has never made sense to me. I cannot understand it. I will never understand it. Like, I get that there are energies and individuals that do that, but I will never understand the thought process behind it. It's just weird. Very strange. Okay. Spirit, let's grab one more card for the collective to close out here on this reading. Very cool. Very cool reading. I'm really excited about the shift in the energies at this time and what that really means for the collectives and the populace, you know, about how we can utilize those energies to help with our shift. It's not the end of everything. It's the beginning of something new for many individuals at this time and on this timeline. I think that's super powerful. So we have Breath of the Cosmos. Beautiful energy. And we also have a new earth. Yes! There's that new earth energy. Thank you, Spirit. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. I don't even need to say anything about that. Look at that beautiful new earth. And please remember, it doesn't mean getting transported to a new planet. It means really stepping into what Mother Gaia is transforming herself into. You know, releasing all of this old toxicity and the energies that are not in alignment with soul path, and stepping into that new clean energy, that new earth 5D energy that represents growth and healing and moving forward and evolution. Exactly what we're here to do. That is powerful. I'm just going to leave that right there. Absolutely. Okay, and then the Breath of the Cosmos. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. Wow. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. Let's take a look at the meaning of this card. I've never pulled it before. We obviously know what the New Earth energy is. Let's look at Breath of the Cosmos. Let's see. Here we go. So that's this card right here. It says, when we rely on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe. Ah, okay. And resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We're rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our own personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life, to surrender to the greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. When you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of your life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little you find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control and release the way you think things should be, and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. Wow. And remember that God energy, source, the universe, however you refer to this greater expanse of energy that is fueling and powering and energizing all energies. Please remember, this is an aspect of yourself and higher self. So when you surrender to your higher self, its goals for you, its understanding, its ancient wisdom and knowledge, you are on the right path. There's no denying it. So no matter what's happening in our cosmos, around our planet, whatever, please remember, the point of it is not to try to micromanage or gain control of it. It's to understand. When we see things like this happening in our cosmos and around our planet, it's a reminder to let go. And by let go, I don't mean don't try, give up. I mean, let go of the controlling energy and allow yourself to be shifted into the new phase of this incarnation. It's so that you can complete your work. Your starseed activation says, place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I'm willing to stop relying on my own strength and personal agenda and instead surrender to the breath of life. Dear God, dear universe, dear higher self, help me move from my will to thy will. Please lead me. Please show me the way. And the only reason I made sure to mention all of the ways that you can refer to that greater energy is not because there's anything wrong with using or referencing the word God. That is a super important, it's just a word, but it's the idea or the intention that it's attached to. Super important. But I want to make sure that all who hear this message have an opportunity to tap into it in a way that they are able to connect with the intention, okay? So you're asking that part or aspect of yourself to show you the way. Wow, I don't even think I need to say anything more about that. I think we can just leave the reading here. So I want to thank you so much for being here with me for this reading. Amazing, amazing times that we are living in. Beautiful collectives and spirit family. We have the opportunity to really move past those old energies and engage with this work for this transition and shift. And the things that we are seeing in our cosmos are a reminder that it is time. So once again, my name is Ora-gen, and this is the Ora-gen Channel. I want to thank you so much for being here with me, no matter what time of day you found this message. I'm super grateful that you're here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I look forward